I had been planning that trip for months. It wasn't for a honeymoon or a relationship patch-up or any of that stuff. It was just me, my cousin Marcus, and our childhood friend Alana. We were doing something we used to talk about back in high school, road tripping through obscure parts of the state, staying in weird little towns, eating sketchy diner food, and staying in random Airbnbs. It was supposed to be nostalgic, cheap, dumb fun before adulthood crushed all of us with bills and responsibilities. We drove about 4.5 hours that Friday, took the back roads, got stuck behind a tractor for what felt like half the drive, saw a deer bolt across the road and almost hit it, stopped at a gas station where a guy tried to sell us a taxidermied owl. The trip had that kind of weird energy from the start. The Airbnb we picked was this old Victorian house just outside a small town called Graybrook. It looked like something straight out of a postcard. White exterior, overgrown garden, a wraparound porch with a swinging bench. The listing said it used to be a boarding house in the 1930s. Cheap, roomy, and just creepy enough to make us feel like we were living in our own horror movie. There were 3 bedrooms upstairs, a big living room downstairs, and a narrow, dim hallway that led to a locked door beneath the staircase. The host left a note saying, "Please don't try to open the door under the stairs. It's for storage." Didn't think much of it. Most places have a junk closet. We settled in, made sandwiches, watched some terrible reality show, and passed out one by one. I woke up around 2:40 a.m. because I thought I heard someone crying. It was faint, soft, like it was coming through the walls. I sat up, listened, nothing. Figured it was Alana watching something with headphones on, or maybe just the old house creaking. But the next night, Marcus said something at breakfast that made me freeze mid-bite. "You guys hear someone crying last night?" We both kind of paused. "I thought that was you," Alana said. "I even got up and checked your door." That night, we all stayed up, and sure enough, around 2:50 a.m., we heard it again. Quiet, muffled sobbing. It was coming from the locked door under the stairs. We didn't do anything right away. I mean, what were we supposed to do? Break the Airbnb's rules and rip open some stranger's storage room? But the 4th night, everything changed. We were playing cards when the crying started again. Only this time it was louder, sharper. Not just sobs, words. "Please, please help me." Marcus stood up like someone had shocked him. "Screw this." He grabbed a flashlight and headed straight to the locked door. It wasn't locked anymore. He opened it. There was a narrow staircase that led downward into what looked like a basement the listing never mentioned. We argued about going down there. We argued a lot. But then the crying came again, so we went. The basement was freezing. Dirt floor, one dim, swinging bulb. Dust in the air so thick it felt like we were breathing cobwebs. In the far corner, there was a metal cage. Inside it was a girl. She couldn't have been more than 15 or 16. Her hair was matted, her clothes were filthy, her wrists had rope burns. When she saw us, she didn't even flinch. She just whispered, "Please don't let him put me back." We ran, called the police. They came fast, faster than I expected for a town that small. Turns out, the house wasn't owned by anyone. The listing was fake. Payments routed through 3 different shell companies. The girl had been missing for almost 8 months. She'd been held there, in that house, and every time someone rented the place, the person running it, whoever he was, moved her somewhere else temporarily. We'd just gotten lucky, or maybe unlucky, depending on how you look at it. The girl was rescued, taken to a hospital. They never found the guy who did it. We needed a break, not the cute, let's go sip cocktails on a beach kind of break. More like the, we're either gonna kill each other or we fix this now kind. Me and Bree had been together 4 years. We weren't perfect, who is? But lately, every little thing had turned into a full-blown argument. Dishes, money, her job, my parents, you name it. So we figured, let's get out of the city. No phone service, no emails, no distractions, just us. We found this cozy Airbnb cabin up in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Looked like something out of a Pinterest board. Wood-burning stove, wraparound porch, Those giant windows that scream, "Come drink wine and pretend your life is together." We booked 3 nights. The drive up took us about 4 hours. Most of it was winding roads with barely any shoulder, and that constant fog that makes it feel like the mountains are just swallowing the road whole. We stopped at this gas station on the way where the cashier wouldn't stop staring at Bree, like unblinking. I joked about it in the car after, but she didn't laugh. Said the guy gave her the creeps. We got to the Airbnb just before dusk. The place was beautiful, I won't lie. Kind of quiet in the way that makes your ears ring. The cabin sat on a slope, surrounded by trees that didn't move, even with wind. Bree thought it was peaceful. I thought it felt still, like nature was holding its breath. The owner had left a note in this floral handwriting on the counter. "Feel free to use everything but the basement. It's locked for a reason." Okay, creepy. We unpacked, made dinner, and even laughed for the first time in weeks. Things felt good again. Normal. Like we were finally remembering why we fell for each other in the first place. The second night, around 10:30, we watched a movie on my laptop. Nothing scary. Some dumb rom-com Bree picked. She dozed off halfway through, curled up in one of those oversized chairs by the window. I left her there and went to wash up. I remember brushing my teeth and hearing something. Just a thump. Thought maybe she dropped her phone or shifted in her sleep, but then I heard it again, a heavier sound, like something dragging. I called out, "Bree!" Nothing. I stepped out of the bathroom, and she wasn't in the chair anymore. The cabin was dead silent. No wind, no creaks, just the sound of my bare feet on the wood floor. I checked the kitchen, the bedroom, even outside on the porch. No sign of her. My phone had 1 bar of service. I tried calling, but her phone was still on the chair, glowing. That's when I noticed something on the window. Smudges, like handprints, but weirdly high up, too high. I freaked out, grabbed my coat, flashlight, and went into the woods with nothing but that dim circle of light. I shouted her name until my throat hurt. Eventually, I had to call the cops. They showed up the next morning, 2 deputies and a dog. They searched the woods, questioned me for hours, checked the cabin top to bottom. Then they asked for the security footage. Apparently, the Airbnb had external cameras facing the driveway and the porch. The owner sent the footage over email. One of the deputies opened his laptop and started playing the video. It was from around 10:40 p.m. There I was, stepping out on the porch, calling Bree's name. Then I turned around and walked back in. That's it. "She's not in the footage," the cop said. "No," I said. "She was inside. I was calling her from outside." He paused the video and looked at me. "No," he said. "You're the only person on this footage, the entire weekend." I couldn't speak. I just stared at the screen. Because the part that haunts me isn't that they didn't see her. It's that when I turned to go back inside, my reflection in the glass door didn't move. They never found Bree. No footprints, no evidence she was ever there. The cops asked if I brought her, if I was alone the whole time. Her phone? Gone. Her bag? Gone. Only the chair by the window, the one she curled up in, had a single long scratch on the armrest, like a nail or a claw dragged across it. Sometimes I dream about that night, but in the dream I'm outside, watching myself through the window. And inside the cabin, I'm not alone.